Hello, friends. Welcome to episode 10 of the Kpop Weekly podcast with Emily Mallon. I'm your host, and I'm so happy you joined me for another week to talk about some amazing Kpop releases. November has been nonstop. This episode will drop on December 1st. So happy December, a happy holiday season. I mentioned it last week, but happy Sagittarius season to my fellow archers. My birthday is this week, so I'm a hardcore Sagittarius, whatever that means. If this is your first time listening or watching the podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. I do this every week. I love music and I love breaking down what worked and what didn't for me with new K-pop releases. So if you're here for the music, if you love the music, you came to the right podcast. Big news. Casting for the next round of Fandom Face Off is now closed. I've got my engine and I've got my A to knee. So keep your eyes peeled. That episode is coming soon. Hopefully this month we're going to get it recorded. I'm really looking forward to this. If you don't know what Fandom Face Off is, it sounds harsh, but it's actually a positive, uplifting conversation where two people get to come on and share why they fell in love with a group, what the music means to them, anything else they find relevant, and a special guest judge picks the winner. It's just one person, what they vibe with. We did it with Stay and Moa, and we had a really amazing conversation. It was a lot of fun. If you want to watch that, you can go ahead and find it on my channel. But this next one's going to be great. I think it's even more fun, maybe, because they both have comebacks so close. I'm going to be reviewing Enhypen tonight. And next week's episode, I'll be talking about ATs. So stay tuned for that. Very excited. Thank you to everyone who submitted. There'll be many more opportunities with these groups in the future. So please don't be too down or upset if you didn't get to participate this time. I really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to be a part of it. So speaking of engines and Enhypen, I'm reviewing their new release tonight, plus Red Velvet. You know I've got to talk about the Queens. I have so many thoughts on this comeback. And the Boyz. The Boyz have a big comeback, completely different from Lip Gloss. Did it work? I'll let you know in a few minutes. Let's get into it because there's a lot of music to talk about. First release, it's Enhypen. If you're not familiar with Enhypen, they're a 7-member boy group that debuted in 2020 under B-Lift Entertainment. That's they were in a partnership with Hybe, I believe. They're still under the Hybe umbrella, and it was a reality show. This EP is called Orange Blood. 7 songs, but 3 of those are the same song. So you have the title track, then you have the English version, and then you have a remix. So 7 songs, but like 4 new songs, or 5 new songs, I'm sorry. The single is called Sweet Venom. This is a different feel this time around. I don't know if it's just me or maybe Engines, if you agree or disagree, but this one feels a little bit different. It's more of like a happy disco beat with some funky bass. You're hearing that a lot. And this really reminded me of T by T's releases over this past year, 2023. Happy, upbeat disco. I thought maybe we'd get like a dark vampire theme again. That's just what I'm used to with these guys. It's kind of what I fell in love with. And Sweet Venom, I was like, ooh, here we go. It's completely different than what I was envisioning. That's not a good or bad thing. I was just like, oh, wow, yeah, this wasn't the sound I thought it was going to be. I don't think it's bad to switch things up from time to time. Give fans a different sound. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It can be a gamble or it can really pay off. I like the funky bass line. I mentioned that. I like the bass line. Vocally, I think Hyesung has the best moments. He stands out a lot for me. I will say though, it sounds like there are a lot of effects on their voices. So it was harder for me to distinguish on this track than the rest of the album. The rest of the album, I knew, okay, there's Jake, there's Nikki, you can pick out the vocalists if you listen to a group enough. And I've listened to Enhypen since debut. I've been reviewing them since they debuted. But on the title track, it was hard for me to distinguish who was singing at points. And I think that's because there are a lot of effects on this song. So I would maybe peel those back a little bit because it kind of takes the personality out of them. Selfishly, I do want to go back to like the given or taken sound. Oh, one of my favorite debuts ever. But this isn't bad. I don't think this is a bad song. I think it's just a little bit different. And it sounds a little bit younger. So that makes sense to me. These are young men. They're young guys. This isn't a group that's been in the game for 10 years. So they know their demographic and they know their fans' demographic. Although clearly I'm not, still in high school or young. Clearly I'm not underage. They have a lot of fans who are all different ages, like most K-pop groups. I definitely want to make that clear. I'm not saying their fans are only young people, but I do think this sounds a little bit younger and maybe they're catering their sound to a younger fan base. Maybe that's the market where they're finding the most success and that's who they're targeting. It makes total sense. But I kind of got that feel with this song. I think my biggest kind of criticism, it's not bad. It just wasn't that exciting. And when I went back and I listened to it multiple times and I was really looking into it, I think something that really hurts this song is the length. It's only 2.5 minutes long. And it's really hard for a song to get going in 2.5 minutes. You have nowhere to go. Like, that's when the bridge is usually coming in. And then you get a couple more choruses and the big ending. Here, it all was just kind of like, because they didn't give themselves that time. I understand attention spans are short. I totally get all of this. But I think like you need to give them enough time to have the song go somewhere. So this wasn't my favorite Enhypen release. I'm excited to talk about the rest of the album though, because I do think there were some good songs on that one. I'm a little bit perplexed on why this was the single. There's some stuff I liked a little bit more, but let's talk about the music video first. Okay, I liked this music video. I did. It was interesting. I liked the color scheme, the cooler tones. A lot of frozen elements, right? Everything's frozen, and the camera's kind of you walking. The camera is kind of walking you through these frozen elements. Not the first time we've seen that in K-pop videos with things frozen and people moving around frozen objects. I still think it's cool. That hasn't gotten old to me. I like that. The styling, I think, is really interesting here. Michael Jackson, they have on short, tight pants with glittery Michael Jackson socks. We just saw Jungkook do Michael Jackson in his release. What I mean by that is dancing and also styling. So clearly there's a theme happening here. I'm not mad at it, but I just think it's interesting. Is fashion going to change? Are we going back to tight pants? We had so many skinny jeans in K-pop, and then everything's been massive recently. So are we going to see Michael Jackson instead of baggy jeans? I don't know. And to be honest, I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know. But the styling I thought was interesting because they're kind of going against trend, wearing tight pants with, loafers and Michael Jackson socks. I love the chorus choreography. It's simple, but it's really fun with that little like head movement. I like that. I think it's interesting and fun, but it's not so complicated that a lot of people couldn't do it on a dance challenge. And I know that's what part of the game is, whether I like it or not. That's part of the game in K-pop now. So I get it. I thought it was cool and simple and fun to watch. In the music video, the bridge was by far the most interesting. And I think also in the song. The bridge is really, really nice here. But in the music video, you get these like party pictures with lighting effects that feel relatable to somebody who's in college hanging out with their friends. And then you just get really fast, like picture montages. Again, I think this is skewed to a younger audience and it totally works. This video, though, it felt different than a lot of K-pop videos. And I think it's because there weren't as many sets, there weren't as many cuts. It was just like that street scene and then walking through those rooms, and that was it. Now we're back on the street scene. So in that regard, it felt a little cheaper than some of their epic music videos. And I think with like the CGI and the effects, it probably wasn't. But just from someone watching it with no concept of that stuff and how much it costs, it did feel different. I'm so used to like multiple sets. This is a different type of K-pop video. And I liked it better each time I watched it. I really did. We have to talk about the looks. I talked about the styling, but they look great. All seven members looked so handsome. I loved the hair. I think these were great styling choices. Nikki looks fantastic. Jake stole a lot of focus. Jake, the camera really loves Jake, and he's such a performer. He's such a natural. Sung Hoon, always so handsome. Oh my god, that guy's so handsome. It's sick. It's disgusting. Too handsome. And then obviously he sung killed it with the purple hair, like the purple mullet thing with forehead showing. I just realized as I said that out loud how crazy that is. Like if I said, you know what hairstyle I love on a guy? Just like parted in the middle like this with forehead showing and then a mullet and then dye it dark purple. I don't know if I would love that hairstyle on a normal, on a local. But you do that on a handsome K-pop boy, and I'm like, this is the look, this is the style. Yes, I'm in love. I loved it. I think it's really nice. It totally works. He's an amazing performer, and I love the part in the music video where he kind of does like the foot shuffle into center. Great, great. I'm here for it. So the song was kind of a mixed bag for me. I did like the music video. I think it's different. Different doesn't mean bad. It's just something that felt different than watching everything else. You know, I listened to and watch so much K-pop. So maybe it's a good thing. Then I'm like, well, this one's different. There aren't as many sets. I want to talk about the rest of this EP though, because they gave us some really nice stuff. Of the songs, of the rest of the songs, I want to talk about Still Monster, Blind, and Orange Flower. Okay, on Still Monster, he sings opening vocals. They're so clear. I love the clarity of his voice, what he brings to that. And you'll hear me talk a lot about the opening line in songs or about how it starts off because you're setting the tone, right? So if you come in with something interesting or really great, that just elevates the song to me. That just grabs me. Where if it's just kind of mid, it's just like, all right, whatever. I love how he starts this one. It grabbed me. This is like a mid tempo heartbreak track. I like kind of the guitar strumming and the simple bass line. The melody is really pretty and they perform it well. I really, really liked this one. Blind. This is a really good song. Their voices can be heard more clearly, the individual voices, as compared to the single. I think this one's more interesting, and I loved that I could tell who was singing. Great chorus, nice groove in the verses, and that drum build in the pre chorus, great. Nice touch. Very, very good. This kind of reminded me of like the Enhypen I'm used to and that I love. I really, really liked this. I need to talk about Orange Flower. I really need to talk about this song. If they want a kind of lighter, happier sound for Enhypen, why not make Orange Flower the single? I love this song. I love it. The bass drives the song. It's poppy. It feels familiar. We talked about that in the last fandom face off. Alyssa mentioned like T by T, she got into them because it kind of sounded like stuff she already liked. And then when Lamar was judging, he mentioned the same thing. Like sometimes it's a good thing to have songs that sound a little bit familiar. Orange Flower sounds familiar to me. Jake serves some nice breathy vocals there. Ooh, yes, Jake. This is like that driving with the top down type of song. It's happy and carefree. And for me personally, it really sounded and kind of gave Post Malone's Circles vibes. If you know that song, listen to them back to back. Very similar. I would have made Orange Flower the single. I think this is the song on the album. Biases, Time Talk biases. In case it's not clear, my bias in this group is Heesung. He's been my bias since debut. He grabbed my attention and has never let go. I think he's such a star. Wrecker goes all over the place, but Sunghoon's my wrecker. He's like what a K-pop idol should be. You know, he's really kind of the total package. Let's get to my rankings of the 7 songs from Enhypen's Orange Blood EP. Number 7, Sweet Venom featuring Bella Porch. I think that was completely the wrong feature. Number 6, Sweet Venom, the English version. Number 5, Mortal. That's just the opening track, kind of the narration. Number 4, Sweet Venom, the title track. Number 3, Blind. Number 2, Still Monster. And my number 1 song from this Enhypen comeback, it's Orange Flower. Orange Flower is my favorite song. I wish this would have been the single. Sweet Venom is okay. Orange Flower is great. And yeah, that feature with Bella Poarch, you guys, I don't know. People make mistakes and everybody, grows and evolves. I don't know that person personally. I have no wish her no ill will. But again, for a Korean group to feature someone that had a tattoo of the Japanese rising sun, that's to me something I don't think you can get past. Whether you knew or not, that's a big enough mistake that shouldn't be featured on a Korean group's album. So I'm not cool with that. That just doesn't work for me. It just rubs me the wrong way. It feels they didn't need to do that. And like Meg and I talked about, I kind of hate when they'll say it's 7 songs, but you have 3 songs that are the same. You don't need an English version on every single album or, feature version. Just release the single. If it's a strong title track, it should do numbers anyway. So that was a pretty big misstep. This is an interesting comeback for them because I think there's some good songs here. The title track was a mixed bag for me, and the feature was a massive mistake. Interested to see how this does. I'm sure the fans will still buy it and it will still do numbers. And Hypen's really, really popular. They don't get pushed a lot. In my opinion, Enhypen doesn't get pushed enough from Hype. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that. This is from an outsider's perspective because I want to make it clear I like Enhypen a lot. I'm not like a diehard Engine. I like them. I've been reviewing them since they came out. So I watch them and I root for them because they also they're easy to root for. But I don't think Hybe puts the money behind them like they do for T by T or obviously 17 or the girl groups. It's weird because when I see popularity, when I see passionate fans in person, not numbers on the chart or people fighting on Twitter, when you actually go to concerts or you talk to K-pop fans, which I do quite a bit, and Hypen fans, Engines are really passionate and they're really showing up. So it's weird to me that they're not being pushed more. Who knows what's happening behind the scenes? I don't. But yeah, Enhypen's really popular. I know their fans are going to show up for this project. And I'm sure the fans liked this project. So it's exciting to see your favorite group do something new. The song's good. It's just not my favorite thing they've done. And I am like a fan who likes a lot of their stuff. So mixed bag for me. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. Good project. And I'm kind of digging the tight pants with the Michael Jackson socks. Is this going to be the trend going into 2024? I'll take it. I'm not mad at it. Congratulations, Enhypen. Enhypen continues to work their butts off and put out interesting stuff, different stuff. I like that they stay with the theme. They have a storyline. They have a whole lore. I just don't think the title track kind of sounded like it, if that makes sense. But they still have that theme throughout the album. And it's nice to kind of have storylines still in K-pop because that's what got me into K-pop. That's what made me think this was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen and heard when I realized there was this through line going through BTS's album. So I like that. I like a lot of it. But Orange Blood should have been the title track. I will fight for that song. That was such a good song. Congratulations, Enhypen. I'm a fan. And I'm sure Engines are happy. Can't wait to speak to an Engine during Fandom Face Off here in a few weeks. So let's move on because we have so much to review tonight, a lot of good music. And this is one I really have been dying to talk about. You know about Red Velvet, K-pop listeners and viewers. If you're a fan of the genre, you've probably heard of Red Velvet. If you're a longtime fan or a little bit older, Red Velvet, they're everything. When it comes to girl groups, when I got into K-pop, they were really at the top and killing it. So I'm always interested in Red Velvet. They're a 5-member girl group. They debuted in 2014 as a 4-member group, and then Yuri joined in 2015. So they've been around for a while. This is a full album. They gave us 10 songs. It's called Chill Kill, third album. Okay. The single, the title track, Chill Kill. This was a bit of a mixed bag for me. That's like, it's weird. I have 2 for 2 here where I'm like, I don't know. I don't dislike it, but I'm not sure if I loved it. Let's talk about the song. The chorus is strange in this one. It's a strange chorus. It's like the whole song is going somewhere, and then this chorus comes in, and it's bizarre. And what I mean by that is sonically, sound wise, it's a really different sound than you're expecting. And for the listener, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Upon first listen for me, I was like, it wasn't my favorite thing. But it's strange and it fits the vibe of this comeback. It fits the music video, which I'm going to talk about. The melody just feels a little weird, and that can be good. I'm not sure in this one. Vocally, they still sound good. They sound great. Red Velvet vocally. This is one of the best girl groups. Like, I don't think there's many girl groups that can hold a candle to these ladies. Actually, I'm not sure if any girl groups can hold a candle to them. It'd be interesting to really debate that on vocally the best girl group, because there's members in other groups, but from your worst member to your best member, they're 5 for 5 in Red Velvet. They can all really, really sing. I would highly, highly recommend you watch The Killing Voice. Go on YouTube, type in Killing Voice Red Velvet. That's a show that groups that can't sing don't go on, because you just go through kind of, it's like a greatest hits, just the group behind a microphone singing. Then they go into the next song, the next song, the next song. They killed it. I was just like blown away. And I don't know why I was blown away, because I'm a fan of theirs and I've watched and listened to them for a long time. But it was such a reminder that the girls now aren't doing it like the girls did years ago. And in my opinion, can't even hold a candle. I like a lot of the music. You hear me review a lot of younger groups on this show, but I would challenge any of these groups, the younger groups right now, to try to sing like Red Velvet, to go toe to toe with Red Velvet vocally. They can't. They're not even close. And you know, sadly, that's not what a lot of it is about. For a lot of people, it doesn't matter. They're not in it for the songs and the music and the voices, but I am. And Red Velvet is far and away, like, they're the best. The thing about Chill Kill, you know, the past couple releases for them have had this like orchestration in the chorus, and it's different, and sometimes it works. There's a classical element. I love strings, and I love when you bring in different elements. But I think the chorus here doesn't work for me. Nice harmonies, good vocal performance, they all sound great, but this wasn't a song I was rushing to listen to again. Although Wendy and Joy kill that bridge. Yes, kill it. I love when Yuri goes low. Obviously, Solgi, when she goes low, they have really nice tones. Irene, she's so stable. She always does what's required. They did have moments in the song that were really nice. I'm just not in love with the chorus. Let's move on to the music video. Oof, y'all. Are music videos becoming horror movies now? Like, the Stray Kids music video scared me. I still loved it, but I was like, I am a little bit scared. There's clowns, there's a big scary monster stepping on children, there's a scary pirate ship. Like, that stuff scared me. This one is like real horror movie. I guess they killed some guy. They're like in this house, and his face is blacked out in this picture, and they're cleaning up all this blood. And the way it's shot visually is like, the color grading is scary and weird. And then they get arrested, but they decide to do this like little dance together. And it just reminded me of like witches kind of casting a spell or a cult or something. It was dark. The Chill Kill music video is dark. And I like dark stuff. You guys know me, but I was like, ooh. The combination of like the song is kind of weird and creepy. And then this music video, it made sense with the song. I completely get it. But oh, and then there's a part where they set this house on fire. Like, it's just a lot. It's maybe not my fave concept because it's a little bit weird and unsettling. Um, yeah. I also want to talk about the styling for Red Velvet in this comeback. The styling in the music video is so basic. It's so basic. You can do casual without being basic. And this was just like, this was not it. I'm sorry, this was not it. Red Velvet or Queens, they're very established. Like, why are you dressing them like this? It just didn't work. And I feel like with SM right now, they're kind of telling Red Velvet, you're the old women and you're just going to wear this. Like, you're not cool and sexy and glamorous and pretty anymore. You guys are old. You know, here's a sweatshirt. That's what you're going to dance in your music video in a cabin. Like, you guys are not that old. First of all, if these women were 80 years old, they should still be styling them like they're the hottest bitches on the block. Period. Ageism is real and I'm so over it. Do not get me started on ageism. But like, I think the oldest member of Red Velvet is 31 years old. 31. You guys, 31 is not that old. Not that I'm talking from experience, but 31 is not like, you could still look cute and be bubbly and have fun. And you're not wearing like house clothes, burning down houses because you're so miserable. Like I just don't love that 3 days after Espa and they're in gorgeous, glamorous outfits and look beautiful. Red Velvet comes out and they put them in sweatshirts in a cabin, like a dirty cabin. And they're like, oh, you're witches who are murdering people. Come on. Like, they can still be pretty, they can still be glamorous. I don't know. It was I probably wouldn't feel this way if these comebacks weren't back to back from the same company, but it really felt like SM being like, you're the old ones. We don't care about you. We'll just do some creepy, weird concept. And then, Espa are the gorgeous supermodels. All right. All right. Not a fan. And then even, sorry, I keep going on about this, but it bothers me. Even like their performance stages, the outfits have been horrific. It looks like they're wearing like funeral clothes. I mean, I'd be embarrassed. They're like out there in like Wednesday Addams outfits. That's embarrassing. Mm-mm, mm-mm. If I was in that group, I would look at them and say, are you out of your effing mind? I'm not Wednesday Addams. This isn't like a Halloween theme. Halloween's over. Halloween's over. If that's what you want the theme of the comeback to be, time it better next time. Because it is November. Actually, well, December now. I don't want to see Red Velvet dressed as Wednesday Addams being creepy. It's like, sorry, I digress. It just feels like it's not even Halloween concept. They're just like, here, put on this like long sleeve black dress. It's just very basic, very matronly in a lot of ways. I just don't think they're treating them like the queens that they are. Anyways, if I was Red Velvet stylist, they would be fierce. They would be out here looking fierce. I would never, ever let them be slipping like that. And you don't have to be in full glam. You don't have to be in full glam at all. Sometimes that ages people. But these black funeral dresses and then in the music video, just like sweatshirts, no, we're going to elevate Red Velvet. They're the queens and they deserve it. Okay. Wasn't a massive fan of Chill Kill, but this album is so good. Oh my goodness. I love this album. It was hard for me to do album picks, so I'm going to go through these songs pretty quickly because there were so many I loved. My album picks: Underwater, Will I Ever See You Again, Iced Coffee, Bulldozer, and Wings. Let's get right to it. Underwater. This is the R&B feel I was waiting for and that I absolutely love for them. This to me, when you have a group that can make songs like this and do this, just do this every time. Do title tracks like this. If you want them to come off older and more mature, this is a sexy and grown song. Let them be this type of mature, not like old witches. Anyways, I love how effortless their harmonies are. Effortless. But also like their individual runs and phrasing. Like they'll drop a note and slide in and out of lines so seamlessly. This is just a good song. This is a good song. Will I Ever See You Again? Oh, yeah. This feels like the end of a K drama. It's heavy, it's beautiful, but it's like mid tempo. This isn't a sad ballad. The simple chorus kind of punches the drama and the feeling that something big is happening. This song gave me the most feels on the whole album, and I kept coming back to it over and over and over again. And every song I've talked about tonight, this is the only one I can hear right now as I'm talking about it. It's very, very memorable. And this is one that, like, you want to get in your car and just drive to nowhere and think about life, think about past love. I just want to drive, a hike, take a long walk. This is a reflective, really dramatic, beautiful song. I love, love, love this song. My next pick was iced coffee. That dripping sound, it's so clever. Very, very clever. And I think like the whole concept is clever, right? I love the lyrics. You've got me like iced coffee, comparing love to iced coffee. Relatable, relatable. Some nice low notes here from Irene that stood out to me on this song. And the strings are beautiful. Like here, that really works. My next song was Bulldozer. That beat, let's go. Some energy and spunk, finally. I kept saying "let's go" during the chorus. It was just so exciting. Like that's a good thing. If I'm saying "let's go," that yeah, it's a good thing. What can I break? What can I break? I'm a bulldozer. Love it. Love. I love the concept. I'm ready to break things with you, Red Velvet. Bulldozer is amazing. And then Wings. I liked Wings because of the harmonies at the beginning. They're so beautiful. I mean, this is a vocal group. It's so pretty. And again, it's kind of this nice release from the stress and the tension woven throughout the album. They're some of the best to ever do it. And this song gives an outright feel of nostalgia that's happy nostalgia, which is very nice feeling. I loved it. I really loved this whole album. I love Red Velvet. I really, really do. Time to talk biases. From day one, my bias in this group was always Irene. Irene is still my bias. My wrecker, though, is Wendy. And Wendy's always coming for the bias. She is phenomenal. Wendy is that girl when it comes to vocals. She is that girl in K pop. She is so stunning. It's ridiculous. And when you watch them sing live, it's like it's not even hard for her. You know, when other singers are like straining, Wendy is just like da 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 da, but she's hitting insane, insane notes. I mean, this is even outside of K-pop. Wendy is one of the best female vocalists. She's phenomenal. I really, really wish that Red Velvet had better promotion for this album and also better songs. If with the right songs, this group would be so big. And it's like, again, it feels like 5 years ago they were getting a different type of song that really worked for them. This new stuff doesn't really live up to the old stuff. And it's sad. Like, they're not that old. They can still do bright, fun, sassy concepts. It doesn't have to be whatever this chill kill was. And I don't mean visually. Obviously, I talked about that a lot. I mean like sound wise. You can do stuff that is still young and fun. You don't have to think about like Janet Jackson and her pop career. She didn't stop putting out fun pop dance tracks when she was 30 years old. You don't have to do that in K-pop. Let's let these guys and girls be human beings who can still put out music that's not this like dark song about, killing somebody with this heavy, weird sound in the background. You don't need that. Red flavor and you better know, like that vibe was so nice. And I miss that. And I would love to see it and hear it again from Red Velvet. If you don't want to do that, give them Underwater, give them Will I Ever See You Again, and make that the title track. if you're not going to let them do something with a little more spunk for that title track, then they're an R&B vocal group. Let them be an R&B vocal group. We're all ready for that. We love that. I'm sorry to say we, as if I speak for the fandom, but I do feel like a lot of their fans have grown with them. So a grown sexy sound isn't a bad thing. Here are my rankings from least favorite to favorite on Red Velvet's new album, Chill Kill. Number 10, Scenery. Number 9, Knock Knock. Number 8 was the title track, Chill Kill. Number 7, Nightmares. Number 6, One Kiss. Number 5, Wings. Number 4, Bulldozer. Number 3, Iced Coffee. My number 2 song, Underwater, which means my number 1 song is Will I Ever See You Again. To me, that is by far the best track on this album. It is so, so, so good. Go listen to it right now. Fantastic. I love that song so much. And watch their Killing Boys. If you're into Red Velvet, or maybe you used to be and you haven't listened to them for a while, or maybe you've never even heard of Red Velvet, and you trust me this much, go watch Red Velvet Killing Boys. Best vocal girl group. I'm just going to say it. It's like 4 main vocalists and then like the best female vocalist in all of K-pop with Wendy. This group's a different deal. They don't make them like Red Velvet anymore. That's for sure. Congratulations, ladies. It's so, so nice to have you back. I just want more and more and more of these good songs. And I'm sure a lot of people love Chill Kill. It just wasn't for me, and that's okay. Let's move on to the Boyz. The Boyz are an 11-member boy group. They debuted on IST Entertainment in 2017. The Boyz are an interesting group, and that in that when they have comebacks, you don't know what to expect. I think in some ways that's a big strength for them, but it also can be a real hindrance. If Monsta X has a comeback, you know who they are. You know who that group is. Stray Kids, you know Stray Kids. New Jeans, we know what to expect kind of visually, sonically. You kind of know the sound of a group, even when they deviate sometimes. There's an identity. With the Boyz, they've kind of gone all over the place. So you never know what to expect. I wasn't surprised by this one, however. They released a new EP. It's called Fantasy Part 2, Sixth Sense. So they had a release this past summer that didn't do great. And the title track was called Lip Gloss. It was very cutesy, very bubblegum. I actually think they pulled it off, but I know some fans didn't love it. So I think we all knew the next comeback was going to be back to kind of dark, sexy, cool. It's what they did. The title track, the single, is called Watch It. They are giving us the complete opposite vibe of Lip Gloss. Where that song was cute and bubbly, this song is sexy and cool. I love that vocal fry on Johyun's Watch It. He says watch it with this real vocal fry. I love that. Every once in a while, you put that in a song and it adds to it and it's cool. And here it really worked. Great beat. That chorus is a vibe. It makes me want to dance. There's a feeling here that I really, really like. Sunwoo's phrasing makes the entire second verse for me. When he came in with hi, hello, so, so cool. I thought it was him, but I had to check the lyrics to make sure. And I was like, yeah, that tracks. That makes sense. He's the coolest. That bridge is great. That bridge with New is serving vocals on the bridge. But then you have Sanhyun and Jacob come in. Jacob goes high, high, high at the end of that bridge, and I'm not mad at him for it. That was fantastic. This is a good song. This is a really solid title track, and I think it's one I'm going to come back to again and again. I like this song a lot. I want to listen to it over and over again. I was a fan of Lip Gloss, but I think they can do this style really well. And after watching them for years, I think this suits them better. So stay in this lane. Don't keep going back and forth because it's hard to keep fans when you're grasping at different concepts all the time. I think that the company's doing them a disservice by doing that. Stick with the theme. Let's talk about the music video. First of all, they look amazing. First of all, amazing. I want to give like a round of applause to the stylist. I love, love, love this style. It's what you picture for the song. It's a lot of black, it's dark, it's sexy, it's cool. Every single one is sporting a great hairstyle. Loved the hair. I've got to single out my man Hyunjae. Oh my god. Okay. First of all, as you heard last week, I'm not a big fan of hats. I don't like it when they put like berets on them. I'm always like, ugh. But Hyunjae is wearing like a baseball cap. If there's a hot guy and he's already hot, and then you put him in a baseball cap, something happens where it's like elevated. You just elevated that man. Now I'm a little worried. A lot of people are going to be after him. And obviously, clearly, he's my bias. But I was like, I gasped when he came on in the music video. I gasped. Like he looks so good. And then in the dance parts and in other parts of the video, he has longer hair right now. Do not touch his hair. I am begging you, stylists of the Boyz, let's let Hyunjae rock this for a while. This is superior. This is like the best look. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I think this is the lane they should stay in. This is the lane they need to stay in. Sound wise, looks wise, music video wise. But Hyunjae in that hat, deceased. I am dead. This is not. Nope, 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 nope. I love the chorus choreography. One of my favorite things in choreography is when they're not afraid to slow down and kind of just vibe with the rhythm, just vibe instead of like tons of sharp movements, right? And they have a slower part in this choreography during the chorus. It is so cool. It is so sexy. This is perfect. This is what you should be doing. Thank you to choreographer. Love it. I really liked the whole music video. And then it just builds and builds and builds. And you have this amazing dance sequence at the end. Powerful, powerful. Like, it frustrates me because I'm like, why haven't you been doing this? Why haven't you been doing this for the past 6 years? Like, the Boyz are really slept on when it comes to boy groups, K-pop boy groups. And it frustrates me. And I'm always like, why? They're good looking, they're talented, the songs are good. And really, with this comeback, I think it's because they go back and forth too much and it's too drastic. And, you pick up new fans who only like the cute, poppy, bubbly stuff, and then you lose them with sexy, dark. You pick up new fans that like sexy, dark, and then you lose them when you're over here doing that. That's the issue. You can experiment. You can do what Enhypen did. That title track wasn't what I was expecting. It's still them. It's still good. They're not going to lose fans over a different sound. But you can't do the extremes every single comeback, one to the next. So I hope they stick with this. Stick with this vibe. The Boyz kill it. They kill it. Music video was so, so good. It fit the song. They all looked so handsome. And the choreography is fantastic. And I've only been able to see like one stage because, little secret, I'm reviewing this the day it came out. And I recorded a few episodes in advance, which I normally don't do, because I want to spend time with my family over Thanksgiving. Tonight, in a few hours, I'm leaving to go pick my parents up at the airport. So I'm recording this the day the Boyz release came out. But that music video, phenomenal. The stage, I saw a stage like performance. So cool. And they do a good job. They have a lot of members. So similar to like 17, they do a really good job with different formations, bringing people in and out, in and out. Then you've got the whole crew for this like really powerful choreography. I'm a huge, huge fan of Watch It. I'm a huge fan. But let's talk about the rest of the release because there's also some great stuff on here. My album picks Rat in the Trap, and I'm going to say Honey. Okay, Rat in the Trap. It's a subunit song with 5 members. This one feels grimy. It's grimy, and I just love the texture of that production. The production in this song, really good. And it follows Watch It. Watch It starts things off on the album, and this is the next song. Perfect combo. Perfect. There's a really cool groove here, too. I like the beat, I like the whole feel of it. Then you have another subunit song with Honey. You go right into the next subunit song, and that's Eric and Sunwoo. Sunwoo's tone when he sings, like when he actually sings, because he's a rapper. If you guys don't know, he's one of the rappers in the group. His vocal tone singing is so nice. I love it when he sings. It's very interesting. Obviously, his rap flow works well too, though. I mean, I get it, but he can sing. And this is like another sexy grown song. Like, okay, guys. So the first three songs on this project are really cool, powerful, sexy, grown. Yes, here for it. Thank you. The beat is really good on Honey too. And actually, the beats are great on this whole album. So, who did the production? I didn't get a press release from IST. I need the credits of this, and I want to know who the producers are, because the production is really nice on this release and this comeback, the whole album. But I kept thinking, who made this beat? Wait a minute. Who did this? This is so clean. Or in the case of Rat in the Trap, this is so grimy. They really created that. Great production. Congratulations to whoever did that and whoever's in charge. Um, hmm. Let's talk about biases. I already told you my bias is Hyunjae. Hyunjae's been my bias since I got into the Boyz. Yeah, he's a problem. He is a problem. In this comeback, he is a menace. He is so attractive. He's a great performer, vocally, great voice, and he just brings kind of an it factor to the group and to the stage. I love his presence. My record has changed since I started standing this group. And the biggest reason why, I saw them this summer at KCON here in LA. And one member, outside of my bias, of course, really kept grabbing me the whole time. Sunwoo, he's a superstar. His presence, his charisma. And he's also, I mean, he's really cute too. But I think he grabs focus all the time. So, at least for me, that's my record. It's time for my album rankings from the Boyz Fantasy Part 2, The Sixth Sense EP. From my least favorite to my favorite, I'm going to do a disclaimer here though. This album is really solid all the way through. So there was nothing that I really didn't care for or think was less than the others. This is just, by a smidge. Number 6, Bad Luck. Number 5, Escape. Number 4, Crying and Laughter. Number 3, Honey. Number 2, Rat in the Trap, which means my number 1 song from this release. It's the title track. It was the right choice. Watch it. If you guys haven't given the Boyz a chance, go watch this music video. Go watch this music video. It is so good. They deserve a lot more credit and a lot more love. And I hope this comeback does numbers and gets them the recognition they deserve. Let's move on to some K-pop news since the last time I talked to you. Not a lot, because I am recording these episodes in advance. I will be back live next week. But last night was the Billboard Music Awards. That's going to feel like forever ago by the time you guys watch this. Huge news. Huge news. Stray Kids, like I predicted, Stray Kids have debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200. Their 4th number 1 in a row. 4 consecutive number 1s on the Billboard 200. They are the first Korean act to debut their first 4 charting albums at number 1. Not first boy group or first 4th generation. That's right, BTS didn't do that. Only Stray Kids have done that. They're also the only K-pop act to debut with over 200,000 albums multiple times this year. They're the fastest artist since Taylor Swift to rack up 4 number 1 albums on the Billboard 200. They did it in just under 1 year and 8 months. They've had 4 number 1 albums. That's insane. That's like, do you know how few artists have done that and ever will? Not just K-pop, artists in general. These achievements are so ridiculously amazing. I think it's hard for all of us stays to even wrap our heads around it. I can't imagine how Stray Kids are feeling right now. Like, this is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I'm so proud. On top of that, guess who debuted on the Billboard Hot 100? Stray Kids. They debuted this week at number 90. It's their first time on the Hot 100. They are the second K-pop boy group to do that. The only other boy group, BTS. I hate to say I told you so. I hate to say I told you so, but y'all, like, Stray Kids are the biggest group. That's it. It's done. The Stray Kids are taking over the world. There's no stopping them now. It's all happening so fast. I mean, all these announcements keep coming out all of a sudden this week, and it's like, oh my God. But when you look at what they've been doing and what they've been working towards their whole career and all of these amazing releases, to people like me, it was a matter of time before Stray Kids got here. So it's just amazing to see them winning and getting the recognition they deserve. I also want to give a massive shout out to Stays. You know, artists say this all the time. We never be here without our fans, but it's true. And I think the Stays were really unified on this comeback, streaming and buying albums and voting on the weekly shows and really working hard to do what they could as fans. And I know how difficult that is. Trust me, I feel stressed because I'm so busy that I'll get stressed out. I don't have time to do this, or, you know, it's hard to buy 20 albums. That's expensive. I want to say right now, I don't view anyone as less of a fan who's not doing any of those things. If you just listen to the album a whole bunch the week it comes out, that's amazing. You're helping streaming numbers. You know, we get so caught up in this because we want it so bad for our favorites, but loving the music and having the music make an impact on who you are as a person, and maybe you move different because of this music, because of something you heard, because of the inspiration of Stray Kids. They've changed you and you're a better person, and the way you treat people is better. All of that is infinitely more exciting to me than just you bought 500 albums. Like, we can all be fans in our own ways. And I'm just saying this because I see a lot of discourse about it online. Let's just make sure we stay a unified, loving, inclusive fandom. So it's amazing the people that do buy so many albums and coordinate the streaming parties, and really, it's amazing what some of y'all do. But I don't think that should diminish the fan who's just streaming the album all day long because they love the songs. Let's all, like, we're all in this together, and we're all cheering and rooting for the group and passionate about them. All of that aside, Stays killed it on this comeback. And I'm a Stay, you all know that. As part of this fandom, I'm so proud. I'm so, so proud. But I'm also just so freaking proud of them. I am so proud of them. When I saw that they got the Billboard 200 number one, I I cried. I couldn't stop crying because it's like watching Stray Kids, watching their journey, and to see them get here now, it's so fulfilling for all of us fans and for people whose lives have been changed because of their music and because of their message and who they are and what they do. And I will confidently say that includes me. So I am over the moon, so excited about Stray Kids, and so, 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 so proud. 2024 is going to be a massive year. I will see you at stadium shows because they're definitely going to be doing a stadium tour. My bank account is already crying, but I will be there. Last night was the Billboard Music Awards. Stray Kids performed. They were amazing, but they also won Global K-pop Album at the Billboard Music Awards for 5-star. It was a really great night for K-pop. They awarded K-pop more than normal. New Jeans won for Top Global K-pop Artist. Awesome. Well-deserved. Jungkook won for Top Global K-pop Song for 7. And Blackpink won for Top K-pop Touring Artist. So there was a lot of love to go around for the K-pop artists. Congratulations to all 4 acts. Very well deserved. All of them had massive, massive years. Moving on. Sadly, Leah from ITZY is extending her hiatus. JYP announced that she will not be on the new album. She will not be part of the 2024 tour. So that's disappointing. That's always hard to hear because when a member goes on hiatus for health reasons, you don't know if they're going to come back in 2 weeks or 2 months. But when somebody's already been gone for a while and then they release this feels way more permanent to already announce she's not recording with them on this album. She's not going to tour next year. I like Leah. And it's a 5-member group. So, you know, when you have an 11-member group and somebody is out, it's a little bit different than when you only have 5 to start. So I hope that their next comeback does well. I'll of course be here to review it. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's not great news. To keep you updated with G Dragon's drug scandal that clearly isn't a scandal. Someone was trying to set him up, just my opinion. You can go back a couple episodes for my thoughts on this whole thing. But his hair test for drugs came back negative. Surprise, surprise. The urine was negative. Now they're doing the fingernail test. Can you just let this man breathe? Like, ugh, I can't. Anyways, that's the latest on G Dragon's scandal that isn't. SM is launching a new global boy group through a reality show with a British production company. It'll be a UK based group, I guess. Okay. I mean, I am never that invested in these announcements because there's always announcements and then it doesn't happen. Do you remember NCT Hollywood? That didn't happen. We'll see. We'll see if this one goes through. Just like I talked about last week, maybe we don't need this many groups, SM. Why don't you focus on Rise? Why don't you focus on New Team and give them a real name? Like, why are we doing another boy group? Focus on the young kids you have right now. Those are teenagers. They've got their whole careers ahead of them. Focus on them. And while you're at it, let's do an NCT 127 tour in the States before they have to enlist. That's not really, that has nothing to do with this, but well, I'm not happy with SM. Can we do that as well? That's just a humble request from a fan. Um, speaking of tours, only one of announced dates for their North American tour in 2024. So if you're a fan, get online, check out those dates. This was a bizarre story. Hyun from Super Junior was injured when a woman snuck into the backstage area of the musical he's in with a knife. Like he sustained cuts on his hands trying to stop the attack. So this woman got backstage, and I'm not clear if she was trying to attack all the actors or if it was just him. But whatever the case, that's not cool. That's horrible. I'm happy it was just kind of like superficial wounds and nothing more serious, but that's so scary. That is so scary. That's why when fans act really intense and unhinged and all of this behavior that we'll all say, oh, that's crazy, it needs to be taken seriously. It needs to be taken seriously because a lot of people aren't just like talking crap behind, an avatar on Twitter. They mentally will carry out crimes sometimes. And this needs to be taken seriously. And that's so much a part of fandom and fandom in K-pop that concerns me. Seeing people's behavior that's clearly not something a rational person would do. It's scary. And I think in K-pop in particular, because of the parasocial relationship, we have too much of that. We have too much of that. It's a little frightening. Yeah. So take that stuff seriously, groups, labels, all of us. You never know. And that's when I think the label has to do a better job protecting their artists as well. Not in this case, this was a different scenario, but in general, there's a lot going on with one of the members of Rise. These people from his past are giving interviews about how he's a horrible person and shouldn't be in the group anymore. Some of the stuff he's done is smoked a cigarette or said, "You're cute" to people. That's just the worst. And this one girl is very upset because he's lying about his Myers-Briggs type. How dare he? Oh my God. Go touch grass. You are absolutely not in touch with reality if you think someone should be kicked out of their group. Oh, you guys, he also had a girlfriend. He also had a girlfriend. A really handsome 19-year-old. Oh, perish the thought. What an evil person. So, of course, the unstable Korean fans are calling for him to be kicked out of the group. Protest trucks are in front of SM. Why isn't SM suing and criminally prosecuting people for slandering his name? I don't get why they don't protect their artists and these kids have to go through this. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Not kid, I'm sorry. He's a grown man, but like he's still really young. He just debuted and you have accusations. None of the accusations are anything. he lied about his Myers-Briggs types. He's not an INFP. Who cares? That's what people care about. Do you really care about that? Because if you really care about that, if that's something to you that is so just kick this guy out of his group. He lied about his Myers-Briggs because when I knew him 2 years ago, he was this. Oof. There's no amount of like explaining or rationalizing with a person who isn't there's something there that's really seriously wrong. And I just feel bad. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for idols that this happens to consistently. Unfortunately, he's not the first, and sadly, he won't be the last until the companies really take strong, strong, strong legal action. If that was my artist, I would be suing every single one of them, sue every single one of them. And I don't know if you can. To me, this is harassment. I mean, this is legally, there's a lot you could be doing to stop this and to also punish people because they never get punished. They all come out and with these outlandish, weird accusations, and none of them ever get punished, but somebody's career is ruined. That's not fair. That's not right. And I'm so happy to see international fans fighting back on this stuff. When you look at the comments, and yeah, we're not vibing with that. So if you want K-pop to be global, if you want all of this, if you want all of our money, stop treating these people like they're not human and stop catering to unhinged, bizarre fan behavior that in the end is very dangerous for everyone involved. That's it. That's my piece. I could go on all night, but I've got a busy night ahead of me, so I need to move on. But like, there is no reason that guy deserves to be kicked out of his group. There is no reason to be sending protest trucks. You all need to touch some grass, get a life, get a hobby outside of stalking someone. It's gross. There's a real difference between fans and between whatever this type of behavior is. It's gross. And it's not just the Korean fans. I know there's fans everywhere that are completely unhinged and partake in disgusting behavior. But when it comes to like what they find unacceptable, I mean, obviously, if you go on a date, it's a dating scandal and you're not supposed to. I mean, this guy's in trouble because he had a girlfriend. Anyways, Winter was just named brand ambassador for Polo Ralph Lauren. The first picture was really cute, very like wholesome sweater. I think that's a nice collaboration or a nice partnership. That's a nice deal for her. It works really well. And I wouldn't in my head necessarily pair her and that brand together. And then when I saw the pictures, I was like, oh, this totally works. Okay, that's all I have for you this week. Some really good music and some stuff that I didn't vibe with. There was some good stuff. There was some stuff I didn't like. There were some really strong B-sides. Enhypen and Red Velvet's B-sides worked for me way better than the title tracks. But those comebacks overall, I'm still a fan of. Also, I have to say, I loved the dance challenges with Enhypen and Stray Kids. Very cute. Really fun to see those guys together. And the Boyz deserve more love. Check out the Boyz. This group is good. This group is good. To their management, please stay in this lane. Please give us more like this. I'm begging you. This is such a good comeback. I hope everyone is happy and healthy and doing well. Reminder in this world, just being kind to other people. It makes such a huge difference. Be kind and be nice. I know for the stays who've been battling with other fandoms and, now we're doing really, really well. Let's celebrate this with kindness and joy and not feed into drama. For all K-pop fans, let's root for each other. Let's all root for each other because a lot of us are multis and a lot of us are here because we love the music and we just vibe with good music. There can be more than one group that puts out good music. And in fact, there's tons. And that's what this podcast is about. And that's what I'm trying to share and spread my love of K-pop and why there's so many deserving groups and solo acts that should have their music talked about. If I can do that, if I can turn one person on to a new artist, I've done my job. I love music. I love talking about this. And as I go into another year with my birthday, I just feel so grateful. I'm so, so grateful for everything in my life. And that includes you. That includes my listeners, my viewers, everyone who supported me in this. Thank you. Thank you so, so much for your love and support. I'm very lucky and I'm very grateful. And thank you for bearing with me these 2 weeks. I know a couple of these comebacks were, Red Velvet's comeback was a few weeks ago, but I wanted to talk about these. And I figured, let me do these reviews, even if I'm not doing the episode the week of, because I want to get out these reviews. I love this music. And I knew if I let it go too long, it would stack up and be so overwhelming for you and for me. So thank you for bearing with me these past couple weeks. Next week, it's a live show, and I've got thoughts on ATEEZ' comeback already. I can't wait to talk about ATEEZ. And then get ready. Fandom Face Off is coming. Engine, ATEEZ. Again, casting is closed. Thank you to everyone who submitted. We've got a good group. This is going to be fun. I will talk to you next week. I love you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Bye.